Journal lines are a little bit more complex because they have a multi-part primary key. Whereas a purchase invoice, really doesn't have a lot of parts to the primary key. It's really just the invoice number and the document type, which is, for a purchase header, you can store multiple different kinds of documents inside the purchase header table. So document type is required as well. But for a journal line, it's a little bit more complex because there's a lot more types of documents, that you could store under there's more fields that are involved in the primary key. So we're going to go ahead and do a general journal so I can show you how that works. So I just went into the general journal right here, and you can see that I haven't started keying in this line yet. So the Datahaven component over here is blank because I haven't started keying the line in yet. So I'm going to go ahead and create this journal line as a payment line. We're going to set it to be a vendor, and we'll just use London Postmaster. We'll make it be about $10,000, and we'll make the balancing account be $67,500. Okay. So now, if you click back up here, we'll see now we have a folder where we can put documents that are specific to this line. And if we go ahead and add another line here, we'll make this one a different vendor. So now we have two separate places that we can attach documents, and I'll go ahead and do a drag and drop for this. So we'll go ahead to the documents here, and I'll just drag it over and drop it onto the drop zone. So we saw there that it starts the process of doing that import. And then it attaches the document. I didn't have any subtype set up for this particular record, so it just automatically chooses the subtype for me. So it doesn't do a pop-up and prompt me to add select a subtype because there's only one subtype, journal attachment. I'm going to attach something to this one as well. So I'll just grab this. So now we have an attachment at the line level, and if I switch back up to this line, I see the attachment for that line. Now if I switch to this one, I'll only see the attachment for that line. So these are linked directly to these journal lines. When I go and post, what we're going to see is that we can now go find these documents in a number of different places. So the first place is I'm going to go to the register, and what we're going to see here is that this gives us a roll-up of both of the documents that were attached. So a register is kind of a roll-up of the entire journal. So here we're basically showing all the documents that related to that posting from the single register entry that I created here. And then if we drill down into the general ledger entries that go with this, so we have 4 general ledger entries, and if we look at the first 2 that applied to that first posting, then we see that we just see that first document. Let's change the view here a little bit so we can actually see it. Then if I click down on these, then we see the attachment that was for the second journal entry. So since these 2 lines relate to the second entry, then that's what we see over here. So, the idea here is that you can attach things, even if it's a journal line, which has a really complex primary key. And again, whenever things post, we're going to make sure that the documents are following along with the process as posting occurs.